Finn Bálor didn't just walk past Liv Morgan on Raw, he erased her. No eye contact, no nod, no acknowledgement. And that silence? It was louder than any promo WWE has aired all year. If you blinked, you missed it, but if you felt it, you already know something is seriously wrong backstage. Because here's the part that should make you angry: WWE wants you to believe everything is fine, yet Finn Bálor straight up ignored Liv Morgan on live television, and the cameras didn't flinch. That wasn't a botch. That wasn't coincidence. That was tension spilling into plain sight. And once you notice it, you can't unsee it. So let me ask you this right now: was that disrespect, or was that deliberate storytelling gone rogue? Drop your answer in the comments before we go any further. Let's rewind Raw for a second. Judgment Day is supposed to be this unified, ruthless faction, a machine. But machines don't hesitate, and Finn hesitated. Liv stepped into frame, clearly expecting something. A look, a word, anything. Instead, Finn kept walking like she didn't exist. The arena buzzed, social media exploded, and suddenly the question wasn't what's next for Judgment Day. It was what just happened behind that curtain. And here's where it gets uncomfortable. Liv Morgan has been positioned as more than just an ally. She's been emotionally invested in the group's chaos, standing her ground, taking hits, fighting battles that weren't even hers. Yet in one cold moment, Finn Bálor dismissed all of that. No respect, no solidarity, just ice. Is that how a leader acts, or how someone protecting their own ego reacts when control starts slipping? Think about it. Finn Bálor has been under pressure for months. Losses stacking up, Judgment Day's grip weakening, Damian Priest holding gold, Rhea Ripley dominating headlines, and Liv has been gaining sympathy, momentum, and attention. In wrestling, attention is currency, and Finn might be running low. Quick question: do you think Finn feels threatened by Liv's rising presence? Yes or no? Keep it simple in the comments. What makes this situation explode is timing. WWE didn't need to put that moment on screen. They chose to. Which means either one of two things is happening: this is the start of a brutal internal collapse, or something backstage is already broken, and the cameras caught a crack they weren't supposed to. Sources and insiders have been dancing around the issue, but fans aren't stupid. When a veteran like Finn Bálor ignores a fellow superstar on live TV, it's never accidental. This is the same Finn who built his career on precision, on control, on knowing exactly where the camera is. So why now? Because Judgment Day is eating itself alive. Look closely at Finn's body language. The clenched jaw, the straight line walk, no glance to the side. That's not acting, that's frustration. And Liv's reaction? Confusion mixed with restraint. She didn't chase him. She didn't call him out. She absorbed it. That restraint tells a story too. Here's another one for you: if Liv had snapped right there, would you have blamed her? Be honest. Now let's talk about what WWE isn't saying. There's a growing feeling that Liv Morgan's role is evolving faster than planned. Fans are rallying behind her. She's no longer just part of the group, she's becoming the emotional core. And historically, when someone becomes the heart of a faction, someone else loses control of it. Guess who that usually is? Finn Bálor. And if you think this ends quietly, you haven't been watching wrestling long enough. WWE thrives on real tension bleeding into storyline. The best feuds feel personal because sometimes they are. Imagine this scenario: Liv finally confronts Finn. No yelling, no theatrics. Just one sentence: why did you walk past me? That's not a wrestling question. That's a human one. And Finn answering it would expose everything he's been trying to bury. So here's a bigger question: do you want this to turn into a full-on Judgment Day civil war, or should WWE split Liv away completely? Type war or split below. And don't ignore this detail: Rhea Ripley wasn't there to smooth things over. Damian Priest wasn't there to deflect. Finn was alone in that moment. Leaders show who they really are when no one's there to cover for them. This could be the beginning of Finn Bálor's most dangerous arc yet, or the moment he loses everything he helped build. Because if Liv Morgan decides she's done being ignored, done being sidelined, done being treated like an accessory, that's when things get violent. That's when alliances shatter. And that's when WWE gets its next must-see storyline. Final question: who was more wrong in that moment, Finn for ignoring, or WWE for letting it happen? Sound off. Share this with someone who missed Raw. And keep your eyes open, because on Ring Rumble, we don't miss the moments WWE hopes you won't question. Because the more WWE avoids explaining it, the louder this moment becomes. And here's what should really irritate you as a fan: WWE knows controversy drives engagement, but this wasn't the fun kind of chaos. This was uncomfortable. This was raw. This was the kind of tension that makes you sit forward and ask, am I watching a storyline, or am I watching something real unravel? Finn Bálor ignoring Liv Morgan wasn't just a character choice, it was a power move. And power moves are usually made by people who feel their power slipping. Ask yourself this: when was the last time Finn Bálor truly felt like the undisputed leader of Judgment Day? Was it months ago? A year ago? Or has that role already been taken from him piece by piece while no one was paying attention? Because here's the truth no one wants to say out loud: Judgment Day doesn't feel like Finn's group anymore. Rhea Ripley became the face, Damian Priest became the muscle and the champion, and Liv Morgan? She became the emotional anchor, the one fans connect with. Finn, once the mastermind, now looks like the odd man out. And when people feel replaced, they don't lash out immediately, they withdraw, they ice people out, they ignore. Sound familiar? Another quick one: do you think Finn ignoring Liv was planned, or was it a genuine moment of frustration? Planned or real? 2 words. Drop it below. Now imagine being Liv Morgan in that moment. You've bled for this division. You've clawed your way back from injury. You've reinvented yourself over and over while being doubted at every turn. And then, on live television, someone you're aligned with treats you like you're invisible. That doesn't just sting, it changes you. And that's what makes this so dangerous for Finn Bálor. Because WWE audiences don't forgive easily when they feel someone's being disrespected. Sympathy shifts fast. One cold shoulder can turn into a tidal wave of backlash. Finn might think silence protects him, but silence is what lets narratives spiral out of control. What happens when Liv stops staying quiet? What happens when she stops absorbing disrespect and starts redirecting it? Picture this: a backstage segment weeks from now. Liv finally speaks. Calm, controlled, no screaming. She looks Finn dead in the eyes and says, "You don't get to pretend I don't exist." And suddenly Finn isn't the cold manipulator anymore, he's the exposed one. Tell me, would you rather see Liv confront Finn face to face or cost him a match without saying a word? Confront or cost? Choose. And don't overlook the ripple effect. If Finn truly has an issue with Liv, that tension doesn't stay isolated. It infects the entire locker room. It forces sides to be chosen. It fractures trust. Judgment Day was built on unity through chaos, but chaos without unity is just collapse. We've seen this story before. Every dominant faction eventually implodes. The only question is who pulls the pin. Finn ignoring Liv might go down as the first visible crack. So next time WWE tells you to move on, don't. Rewatch that moment. Look at the body language. Listen to the crowd. Read the comments. This wasn't nothing, it was the spark. Final thought before you go: is Finn Bálor spiraling, or is he about to become more dangerous than ever? Let the comments decide. Share this with a fellow Ring Rumble fan. And remember, sometimes the loudest moments in wrestling are the ones where no one says a word. And that silence? It's still echoing. Because the scariest part about this whole situation isn't what Finn Bálor did on Raw, it's what he didn't do afterward. No clarification, no follow-up, no subtle backstage makeup moment. WWE just let it sit there, unresolved, like a loaded weapon on the table. And unresolved tension in wrestling is never accidental. Ask yourself this: if this was just a harmless beat in a storyline, why hasn't WWE rushed to explain it? They usually spoon-feed answers. This time, nothing. That should tell you everything. Finn Bálor has always thrived in darkness. When he feels cornered, he doesn't explode, he recalculates. He becomes colder, more methodical. Ignoring Liv Morgan might not be weakness. It might be the first move in something far more calculated and far more vicious. But here's the risk Finn is taking. Liv Morgan isn't the same Liv from a few years ago. She's not wide-eyed. She's not desperate for approval. She's battle-tested, fan-backed, and painfully aware of how quickly momentum can be taken away. Being ignored on live TV isn't just disrespect, it's a challenge. And Liv doesn't back down from challenges. Quick one: if this turns into a match down the line, who are fans siding with right now, Finn or Liv? No fence sitting. Pick one. What makes this even more volatile is perception. In wrestling, perception becomes reality. Right now, Finn looks isolated. Liv looks wronged. And audiences always rally behind the one who's treated like they don't matter. Finn may think he's maintaining control, but the crowd decides who holds power, and they're already choosing. And let's be real for a second. If the roles were reversed, if Liv ignored Finn like that, the internet would be on fire, calling it disrespectful, unprofessional, unacceptable. So why is Finn getting the benefit of the doubt? Is it seniority? Is it legacy? Or is it because WWE still hasn't decided what Liv's ceiling really is? That question alone should make you uneasy. Because if WWE underestimates Liv Morgan right now, they're repeating history. And history in wrestling has a funny way of punishing arrogance. Another question: do you think WWE is testing fan reaction before fully committing to this storyline? Yes or no? The longer this drags out, the more combustible it becomes. One wrong look, one mistimed comment, one match interference, and suddenly this isn't subtext anymore, it's open warfare. Judgment Day doesn't fracture with a bang. It fractures with moments like this. Quiet, personal, uncomfortable, and Finn Bálor might have just lit the fuse. So keep watching closely. Watch who stands next to who. Watch who speaks and who stays silent. Because in WWE, silence is never empty. It's loaded with intention. Last thing before you scroll, is this the beginning of Finn Bálor's downfall, or the rebirth of his darkest version yet? Let it out in the comments, share the video, and stay locked to Ring Rumble because we're not done watching this tension boil.